Hello friends, welcome to my channel. You can search my all educational videos by typing Pravinesh Publication in YouTube. These are all educational purpose for standard 8, 9, 10th maths and science. Friends, watch my videos till end, and if you have any comment then you can comment on my videos so we can improve our videos. Friends, if you like my videos, then please press the subscribe button which is given on the bottom, and do not forget to press bell icon so you will get all the updates. Friends, today I'll start Standard 10 Science Chapter 7 Control and Coordination Part 2. In that one, we will understand reflex action. Friends, before understanding this, let us understand few words, that is involuntary actions and voluntary actions. Friends, what is voluntary actions? Voluntary actions means what? The actions or any work that we will do on our will, that is known as voluntary actions. For example, I am saying some words right now, I am showing some movement, we are running. So these all are in our will, and that whenever we wants to start these actions we can start, and whenever we wants to stop these actions we can stop. So these actions are called voluntary actions. On the other hand, involuntary actions. What is the meaning of involuntary actions? Friends, the actions which are not in our control are known as involuntary actions. These are automatically continuous in our body. For example, beating of our heart, digestion in our stomach, exchange of gases in our lungs. So these are all involuntary actions. They are not in our will. We cannot start this process or we cannot stop this process. These all processes are controlled by the brain. So this is the difference between involuntary actions and voluntary actions. Now, in involuntary actions, there are two different type of actions. One action which do not require any stimulus. Friends, what is the meaning of stimulus that we understood in the last part? Stimulus means what? The external environmental change due to which we respond is known as stimulus. So, that stimulus is not required in some type of involuntary actions. For example, beating of heart, digestion in stomach, blood purification in kidney, exchange of gases in lungs. So these actions do not require any stimulus. But there are some actions which requires external stimulus. So these involuntary actions or involuntary response to stimulus is known as reflex action. So this is a definition of reflex action. Involuntary response to stimulus is known as reflex action. Now which stimulus and which initiate this involuntary response? On your screen there are few examples. The first example, when we touch a hot object. Second example, difference in size of pupil when bright or dim light enter into our eyes. Third, sneezing. So these are the different example of reflex action, that is involuntary response to stimulus. So now friends, let us understand reflex action in detail. Before, I'll say some example. Now friends, I'll draw one geometrical figure on the board. This is a geometrical figure I have drawn on the board, and then after I'll write some numbers on the board. That is, this is the number first and this is the second number. So if I ask you question, which geometrical figure it is? So you will say, sir, there are two geometrical figures. One we can say a square and second we can say that two triangles. My next question, which colors you can see in this geometrical figure? So you will answer that, sir, we can say that three colors, that is red, black and blue. My third question, how many numbers you can say in this figure? That you will answer, first number is 1 and second number is 7. So these are my three questions that you can answer. Now how can you answer it? Friends, there are two things that you need to remember. One is a receptor and second one is a effector. Now what is the meaning of receptors? Friends, in part 1 I say we have some organs which detects external stimuli. For example, eye, ear, nose, tongue, skin, etc. So these are the 5 main organs by which we detect the external stimuli. Now I ask the 3 questions. So which organ captures stimuli in your body? So first is your eye. Your eye will see the figure and say the answer. Second, your ear that listen my questions. So these two are receptors right now. First is eye and second one is the ear. Now what is effector? By your mouth you will answer about my 3 questions. In first question you say, sir, there is a square figure as well as a triangle figure. Second answer, colors. So you can say the 3 colors, that is by your mouth. And last questions, by your mouth you answer it 2 numbers, that is 1 and 7. So at this time your mouth will become effector. So friends, understood what is the meaning of receptors and what is the meaning of effectors. Now you listen these questions carefully. Then after what happens? Friends, we have a nerve cell present in our body. This information should reach to your brain. In your brain, if the information are stored, then after you can answer. This figure square, that's stored in your brain. Information about the color, that also stored in your brain. And you already understood about this number. So that is also stored in your brain. Then after you can write the answer. Now if I write something on the board, just answer me. Now friends, I have written something on the board. These are the English alphabet. Obviously we know they are written in capital. Now just tell me the meaning of this word. Can you answer it? It is written as acanthus. Can you say the meaning of this word? No. Why? Because even I don't know what is the meaning of this word. I have randomly written some alphabet here. Why we are not able to say the meaning of this word? Because this word is not feed in our brain before. Now next word I'll write on the board, that is now just tell me what is this? Definitely you will answer it. Okay, sir, this is written tree. And immediately back of the mind we can imagine the tree. It has a brown color trunk, then after green leaves, etc, etc, and we can write many statements on this word. Why you can say something about this word? Because these informations are stored in the brain. So now come back to my 3 questions again. What happens in that situation? When your receptors, your ear and your eye capture this information will travel via neuron and it will reach to the brain. What happens first? Dendritic tip will capture this information. Then after they convert into electrical signals. Then after this electrical signals, which is called impulse or electrical impulse, will travel to the brain. Friends, in brain there are many different thinking parts present. All these parts coordinate and unite together and capture this electric impulses, that means information, and then after it will give message to different nerve to your mouth and you will answer. So this is actually happens in voluntary actions. Now what is reflex action? Again its definition is involuntary response to stimulus. Now we take examples of reflex action given in the textbook. Here friends, the situation is given that when we touch hot object suddenly, what happens at that time? Our fingers will touch the hot object and the nerves or a neuron present in these fingers and the dendritic tip will capture the information of heat. Then after this nerve will capture this heat information and convert into electrical impulses accordingly. These impulses will travel to the brain. Now brain will detect the situation. There are many thinking part present in the brain. So it will detect the situation, it will process the situation, and then after give message and to our organ so we can lift our hand. Friends, this is very less time consuming process, but this is enough time to get injury to our finger. If the brain involves, then it will be dangerous situation for our finger. So what happens in reflex action? Friends, there are three nerve cells are present in it which facilitate the reflex action. The first is sensory neuron. Second one is motor neuron. Third one is relay neuron. Friends, what is the function of sensory neuron? This takes information towards the brain. What is the function of motor nerve? That is motor neuron. Brain give message to motor neuron and the motor neuron will give message to the effector or any organ. What is the function of relay neuron? Relay neuron makes a connection between sensory neuron and motor neuron. Now friends, in the diagram you can see that here sensory neuron will capture the information. This neuron will take these impulses to the first spinal cord. In normal circumstances, that is in normal situation, spinal cord will transfer this message to the brain. But here the situation is dangerous and it needs immediate action. So who will perform the action? Who will process this information? Correct friends? Here the spinal cord process the information. This information will travel towards a relay neuron and then from relay neuron it will immediately travel towards a motor neuron. Friends, the first junction of sensory neuron and motor neuron is at the spinal cord. So here the reflex action is performed by the spinal cord. Now the motor neuron will take this information and process towards the effector. So that is our muscles, and these muscles will get message and we immediately lift our hand. So our fingers will not get any injury. So friends, this is the path of reflex action and that is also known as reflex arc. What is reflex arc? The messages will travel first from sensory neuron to spinal cord. In spinal cord, it will travel toward the motor neuron with the help of relay neuron or called mixed neuron. So that is the reflex arc. Now friends, let's start the next topic, and that is very interesting topic, that is human brain. Friends, we all are born with a computer. Why is computer? Because it controls all the activities. Whatever I'll say right now, whatever I show any activity right now, that is due to an organ, an important organ, that is a brain. Let us see some facts about our human brain. First, it is the largest brain of all vertebrates relative to body size. Friends, our brain is not the largest in all vertebrates, but relative to body size, we have a largest brain. Second, it weighs about 1.35 kg in a normal adult. Don't worry, we are not supposed to measure the weight of your brain, but in an average adult, the weight of a brain is 1.35 kg. That is a 2% of the total body weight. It is protected in skull. It uses 20% of total energy and oxygen. So friends, our brain is very important organ of our body, controls all the activity of the body. Now friends, let us take some taste of you. Are you ready? I'll show some word on the screen. You need to just say the color of the word written. Do not read that word. So let's start. So here friends, are you confused? Yes, you are confused. Because sometimes you will follow my instruction. You have to say only the color of the word written, and back of the mind you are also trying to read that word. Why this happens? Because we have two parts in our brain, the right part and the left part. Friends, whenever I took the test, at the time right part will say the color, will try to process the information about the color, but at the same time the left part will try to read the word, and it makes some confusing. Don't worry friends, this is not your intelligence test. This happens with each and every human beings, whether a child or an adult. Now friends, our brain is divided into two parts, that is right part and the left part, and these parts are connected by that is infinitely many nerve tissues. Friends, if you carefully look the diagram of the brain that is on your screen, we have some wrinkle on it. This wrinkle part is known as cerebrum. More cerebrum, that means more wrinkle, so more surface area and more tissues are present. Which tissue? Nerve tissue. And more intelligence. So friends, can you say which kind of food item you can remember by watching our brain? Correct, that is walnut. Friends, walnut is very important for our brain. If you regularly eat the walnut, your brain will function properly and your intelligence increases. That's why our mother sometimes gives walnut at a regular intervals. Okay friends, now the main three parts of the brain, that is forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Let us understand first of all about forebrain. Friends, there are two types of actions, that is voluntary actions and involuntary actions. So all voluntary actions are performed by the forebrain and involuntary actions are performed by the midbrain and hindbrain. Now forebrain, so it is the intelligent part that is associated with the intelligence, like walk, talk, etc. Friends, can we say that walking and talking, these are the intelligent process? Yes friends, because when we want to talk, we talk properly with the person. In whatever language it talks, we respond in the same language, so that is we utilizes the intelligence. Same as walking, we need to walk on a proper path, so that is also depending on the intelligence. Now which are the parts of the forebrain? That is, main part is the cerebrum. The most part of the forebrain is occupied by the cerebrum, and this is the largest part of a brain. Then after, three main glands present in the cerebrum, that is thalamus, that is called inner region, hypothalamus, hypo that means lower, so that is lower region, and then pituitary gland. Friends, what is pituitary gland? We will understand this gland about later in this chapter. Pituitary, that is called a master gland because it controls the secretion of all other glands. That's associated with the hormone that we will discuss later. Now what are the main functions of a forebrain? So here I have written the main functions of a forebrain, that is thinking, learning ability, speech, sensing, memory, emotions, that is love, hate, etc. Feeling of hunger, thirst, sleepy, etc. So these are the functions of forebrain. Now friends, I'll show you a picture that is on your screen. So I say some word about it. This is the picture of an baby elephant. So you will think first of all what my question is. So thinking, that means you are done by your forebrain. Next, something you learn about this picture. So that is a learning ability. So that is via forebrain. Some of the student may not be understand about this animal. So they can ask their elder and they learn some statement of this animal from their elders. So that is learning ability we do with the help of forebrain. Next is speech. You answer, that is baby elephant. Its color is dark black. So that speech is done by the forebrain. Next is sensing. You will sense that it is very cute animal. It is very small animal, that is baby animal, baby elephant, etc. etc. Whatever the words come in your mind, that is in your forebrain. Next, memory. If you don't know any other statement about this animal, and if some your friends or your elder will say something to you and you will keep in a memory, that is in a forebrain, or whatever answer you say about this animal according to the memory stored in your forebrain. Next is emotion. Friends, if I say how this kind of baby elephant is, you will say it is very cute animal, you love it. Somebody will say no, they don't love it, they hate this animal, etc., etc. So these emotions will come from forebrain, not from heart. Friends, emotions comes from the forebrain, not from heart. So these are the some functions of the forebrain. Next, next thing friends, if you are hungry, so that hunger sensation is in forebrain. If you eat, how could you know that your hunger is over now? So that is also sensed by the forebrain. You are slippery, you are thirsty, etc. are controlled by the forebrain. So this is the forebrain, which is important part of our brain. Okay, now friends, functions of midbrain. It behaves as a bridge between forebrain and hindbrain. It connects the forebrain and hindbrain. Second function in vision, hearing, temperature regulation and alertness. So these are the functions of midbrain. Next is hindbrain. Friends, in hindbrains there are three main parts. First is pons, second medulla oblongata, and third is cerebellum. Pons, it controls the respiration, swallowing, taste, eye movement, facial expressions, etc. Next is medulla oblongata. So it controls the heartbeat, digestion, breathing, some reflex actions like coughing and sneezing. Friends, most of the reflex actions are performed by the spinal cord, but some of the reflex actions are performed by the medulla oblongata, that is coughing and sneezing. Next is cerebellum. Cerebellum, it maintains the body posture, that means balance while we walk, holding a pen, riding a bicycle, etc. We maintain our balance. Friends, actually that is performed by the cerebellum. Friends, you have seen a person who is drunk, taken alcohol, but cannot walk in a proper line. Why? Because this alcohol directly affect the cerebellum first, so that the person who drunk in more quantity of alcohol is not able to maintain its posture. So friends, today I discuss about two main topic of this chapter. First is the reflex section and second one is the human brain. You need to draw the diagram of these two in your notebook, that is of the reflex section as well as human brain, and need to remember the parts of a human brain. Friends, read the textbook thoroughly. These two topics you need to read from the textbook, and whatever doubt you have, that you can do WhatsApp on my number. My number is 9016487991. Thank you.